What's going on everyone, Supreme Kami over here. So I'm gonna quickly do an alteration review for the new Shining Gundam T attribute alteration as well as the T attribute Noble Gundam alteration over here. So what I have done over here, I filtered out everything that is gonna be like the submittable, like the standard ones that currently does have the mobile fighter tag on. What I want to quickly do is just more or less like a comparison from the newest one to the Master Gundam over here. I just want to see what kind of stat differences we can see, right? After like a many months has passed. Generally speaking, I don't think any of these, like all these part we're looking at over here, is more or less gonna supplement that mobile fighter tag, because like as you guys do know, mobile fighter tag on a melee build, this actually works really well. This actually give a better stat increases compared to, let's say, some of the more or less like a relevant tag. For example, let's say high firepower. Generally speaking, you would want pro tag, mobile fighter, and then maybe close combat and high firepower, depending on what kind of portrait and what kind of setup you guys are looking at. So I'm just gonna quickly compare the stats and then just talk about the portrait if applicable, and then some of the EX skill. In terms of the EX skill, I'm not really gonna talk too much about them. I'm pretty sure like after alteration, they should do just fine, or you just purely want the part for whatever necessary means, like for stat sticking, for sub-slot purposes and all that. So let's begin with the Shining Gundam's head over here. I'm just gonna quickly look at the stat. So this one, in terms of melee wise, we're just mainly gonna focus on melee, because shot, let's be honest, you're not gonna use this on a shot machine anyways, right? In terms of the head over here, 2839, so those are what we're looking at. But this one does come with a portrait, so to keep that in mind, not the best, but you do get like an EXP power boosted by 35% when you are running mobile fighter, so that is good. But the first portrait is like, I don't know what's going on, right? I would have to say, if you have, let's say, good, double boosting, let's say head portrait, and you just want a mobile fighter tag, this one you can either put this on the main slot or the sub slot, depending on what, like, the part you had has good portrait, for example. But this one having this right here, this kind of makes it for it, I guess. But let me take a look at Noble Gundam right now. So that one was 2839, and this one is 2651. So this one is definitely going to transition a little bit more better if you're talking about, let's say, the 40% change here, because like that 51% of 40% adding on to that melee attack should be able to get a better number at the end of the day compared to 2839. Yeah, this is going to be a lot more better. Same word tag, but different attribute. But this one does come up with EX skills, so your main slot or your sub slot better have some portrait going on, or I will have to say maybe go with the Shining Gundam by any chance. This one also does have some pretty good shot attack for whatever reason, so it's not bad for sure, not bad. But let me take a look at Master Gundam over here and see how we're doing. In terms of Master Gundam, this one is slightly better than the Shining Gundam. This one is a little bit worse. I don't know. If you're taking 40% off that, it's kind of hard. It's gonna be close, because this one on raw stat is 200 more than Noble Gundam, so this is gonna be really close. I would definitely have to do some calculation on that. But just right off the bat, this one does have high firepower, so this one is gonna be for a different type of build. Like, it's gonna be for my type of build, because I will run, for example, Pro Tag, Mobile Fighter, and then high firepower, because most of my portrait are more geared towards having that high firepower. So this one may work depending on what kind of setup you guys are looking at. So there's tons of options, right? But purely why I'm looking at these, because in order to get these ultra them, you need to have them at 6-star. And you know how getting parts to 6-star is a pain. It's a pain. It's just not. It's like there's a lot of resources involved in it, because you would need to have these. That'll be awakening circuit for these specific word tag, and these can be hard to come by, I know that. So that's why we're doing some alteration review, just to kind of see which one is the better buff for your money, right? For example, or which one is better bang for your money, whichever way however you want to say it, right? In terms of the torso, they are both going to be awakening, so this is going to be a lot more easier. So purely, we're just going to look at the word tag. This one is 3247, while this one over here is, how we're looking at, 2950. Okay, so this one is 2959, while this one is what again? 3240. Okay, so this one I will have to say I'm gonna give it to this one over here, because this one is too close. 47 compared to what 59 is it? Yeah, it's gonna be too close call because like this one you're only off by what 800 and 800 of 40% is only gonna be 200, so you won't really rifle that much. But do keep that in mind. This one does have a better vortex in there, right? Close combat. While this one has what are we looking at? Yeah, so this one right out the bat you want to be using Noble Gundam just because of the fact that you have an easier time working with some portrait or vortex. So I will have to say Noble Gundam for sure. You know, despite the fact that it does have like a lower raw, like a melee attack right there. Master Gundam, Master Gundam. How are we doing? Oh yeah, this one. All right, never mind. This one is probably the better of the three currently. 3354. Yeah, this one is definitely a lot more better. This one is literally right in the middle. Yeah, so Master Gundam is definitely going to be the case. Depending on your build, if you are going to be running high firepower for your third war tag, you can go for that. But if you are running close combat, maybe go with the Noble Gundam, so you guys don't have to do too much of a finesse trying to get that war tag going on. But purely for the arm, I'm not going to be suggest any of the arms because they are probably the pain because all of them comes to be excuse. So you guys, I always gonna talk about this, right? For the R for a melee build, you always want to have good, you always want to try to double sub slot. So what I mean by that, you better have your arm, if possible, you want to sub slot the same thing. But these having EX gear is not going to be able to do that just because of the fact you will be losing portrait, and losing portrait means you will be losing access to some potential power boosting, so your overall damage output is going to be significantly drop. I will have to say. So probably going to be a skip for me, but you can definitely go right ahead and maybe filter in some big slot into that. But even big slot, you know what, if you are going to take into consideration a big scale like arms, there are some pretty good options out there, but do keep that in mind. There are only going to be one good power boosting portrait on them. The other one are more for like a gimmicky, like some what was the other one? I think there's one that says like enemy reduction, power reduction, and one of them is more or less like reduces your EX skill cooldown by 50% when you knock out one enemy. So there's definitely option around that, but I will have to say, if possible, you guys have better arms out there already, go for that. But wow, 8756. Wow, what about this one? Wow, yeah, Noble Gundam's definitely taking it right there. Wow, crazy. Like why is Shiny Gundam losing by a lot? 9,000. Okay, this one is better. Okay, oh, never mind. Master Gundam is still a little bit better, just teeny tiny bit. Right? Yeah, definitely a lot more better. You're getting roughly about 200%, 200 flat stat on melee. Yeah, there's just no competition. All right, moving on to the leg. Wait, I want to take a look at the vortex set for this one. Close combat, close combat again, and this one has high firepower. Okay, it's not bad. Like Master Gundam still taking it, but this one over here, okay, 2843. Keep that in mind. And this one is 2649. This one is 49, and this one is what? Check again. 43. Okay, so this one is not too much of a big margin, so going for this one probably the safest bet. But man, the vortex, like why are we throwing for urban area? Like is it necessity for that? I don't know. Like this one is probably boom. Never mind. So both of them is the same, but I would definitely suggest going for the Master Gundam, just because of the fact that Master Gundam has a good portrait. Is it decent enough? Never mind. Let me not say that because 1,117. Like I don't know. I don't know what's going on right there. I don't know, but this one definitely has a better, like a good decent portrait that I would say go for it. But man, like what? Why did they do that? Yeah, we're not gonna look at that. Never mind. Nope, we cannot. So going for these two options definitely good. Maybe shining them, I will have to say, is a little slightly better because of how it is. Because both of them does have the same vortex, so obviously we're going for something that's a little bit more higher. But man, the best part, this literally is probably the best part of the set. The shining in the backpack is definitively one of the better one we're looking at because like, look at this. Like we are having up to a 30% buff EX skill effects, man. This is good. Like for a standard part, having access to that is definitely a welcome addition. But the first portrait is gonna be like why? You know, recoil is not. I don't. It's like having a chance base also makes it worse. So yeah, but the second portrait does make it up. But do keep that in mind. It's only for P attribute or for your power attribute. So there is going to be a little bit of a discrepancy right there if you are going to build it on like a S attribute build or even like a T attribute build. But yeah, so far this one is probably like the best one out of the set. No, like no question asked. Noble Gundam does not have a backpack, so we don't have to look at that. But compare that to the Master Gundam over here. Are we looking at okay 3,000 and then for 47. I'm just gonna round down to 48. But man, this is still the winner here. This is still the best. Having access to this is like phenomenal. So yeah, alternating the shining in the back is probably like a priority. I would have to say, like, get this guy up and going. Like, this is good. So there's no melee weapon for the shining in it, but we do have it for the beam ribbon over here. This one I checked already. This one is slightly better than the Master Gundam by a landslide, by around 700 ish. But this one does come with a portrait, so in theory you can double subslide itself. But yeah, this one is probably going to be the case here because you do have access to this while this one does not have the beam ribbon. So it's a pretty easy case for this because we do have limited access in terms of weaponry. I don't even think we have that much to begin with, right? I don't know. Big scales? Let me see. Yeah, we only have one, and this one is locked to EX skill as well. So I will have to say the Master Gundam one is definitely going to be the ticker over there. If you guys do wonder what are some good options for melee weapon. But yeah, that is just a really quick, just coverage of like what we look at over here. So definitely check before you alterate them because they are a little bit costly because you would need to have a little bit more resources in order to upgrade them and then alterate them. So that's why you gotta take a look, right? What kind of attribute you guys are trying to build and what kind of word tag you're trying to look for. Because definitely Master Gundam is gonna fulfill your mobile fighter as well as high firepower. While when you look at Noble and then Shining Gundam, they are gonna fulfill the close combat section as well as the, let's say, what is it, the mobile fighter. So it really depends what build you guys are looking at, but I will have to say all these are definitely good parts to have. So it's not bad for sure. So that being said, that is gonna be it. Just a quick, alteration review for these over here. Do you keep that in mind? They are gonna be standard parts, so there's not a necessary means to summon on this specific battle. I'm pretty sure a lot of people may or may not have a few parts of, the Shining Gundam, Noble Gundam as well as Master Gundam, so there is really no point in summoning on these one over here. I'm covering Master Gundam myself because I just want to do a quick comparison of what we have. Master Gundam came out a long time ago, so that's why you're not going to see like a specific banner for that. But with that being said, that is going to be pretty much it. Just want to quickly cover the alteration for the Shining Gundam as well as the Noble Gundam over here. So I will catch you guys all on the next one.